Greetings, fellow car enthusiasts. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into a question that has been on many fans' minds. What if Lightning McQueen had never made it to Radiator Springs? As you may recall, in the first Cars movie, McQueen is a successful race car who gets lost on the way to a big race and ends up in the small town of Radiator Springs on Route 66. It's there that he meets a cast of quirky characters, including a wise old tow truck named Mater and a beautiful Porsche named Sally. Through his experiences in Radiator Springs, McQueen learns the value of friendship and the importance of giving back to his community, and ultimately becomes a better racer and a better person. But what if things had gone differently? What if McQueen had never gotten lost on the way to that race and never discovered the wonders of Radiator Springs? To explore this hypothetical scenario, let's first look at McQueen's character before he arrives in Radiator Springs. When we first meet him, he is a top-ranked race car with a fierce competitive streak and a tendency to put his own needs above those of others. He is arrogant, self-centered, and dismissive of those who don't meet his high standards. Now, let's imagine a world where McQueen never gets lost on the way to that race. He stays on the racing circuit, continuing to focus on winning at all costs, and never taking the time to appreciate the people around him. Without the influence of Radiator Springs and its residents, it's likely that McQueen would remain this way for the rest of his career. But what would this mean for the world of cars? Without McQueen's transformation, the other characters in the series might not have the same impact on him. Mater, for example, would never have the chance to teach McQueen about the importance of loyalty and the joy of simply being oneself. Sally would never be able to show him the value of slowing down and taking in the beauty of the world around him. And without these lessons, it's possible that McQueen would never have been able to defeat the sleek and ruthless race car Francesco Bernoulli in the World Grand Prix, cementing his place as a true champion. Without McQueen's journey to Radiator Springs, the Cars franchise as we know it may not even exist. The sequels and spin-off movies likely wouldn't have had the same heart and charm that they do, as they all build on the foundation laid by the first film. Without the character development that occurs in Radiator Springs, the story simply wouldn't be as compelling or memorable. But let's not despair. While this is all just speculation, the fact remains that Lightning McQueen did go to Radiator Springs, and he did learn valuable lessons that helped him shape into the kind and selfless hero that we know and love. So let's be grateful for the detour that brought him to this special place and all the adventures that followed. But let's take this thought experiment a step further. If McQueen had never gone to Radiator Springs, what might have happened to the town itself? Without the influx of tourists brought in by the newly renovated racetrack, it's possible that Radiator Springs would have remained a forgotten, rundown relic of the past. The town's residents, including Doc Hudson, Flo, and Sheriff, might have been forced to leave in search of better opportunities elsewhere. But Radiator Springs isn't just a town, it's a community, and the bonds of friendship and fellowship that exist among its residents are strong. It's possible that, even without the boost to the local economy that McQueen's presence provided, the town's residents would have found a way to pull together and keep Radiator Springs alive. Maybe they would have turned to farming or ranching, or found ways to bring in tourists through other means. Maybe they would have banded together to form a co-op or a commune, pooling their resources and working together to keep the town going. Without the events of the first Cars movie, it's also likely that the other films in the franchise would have had very different plots. In Cars 2, for example, Mater would have never been mistaken for an international spy and dragged into a globe-trotting adventure. He would never have met his British counterparts, Sir Finn McMissile, or teamed up with Holly Shiftwell to take down the evil Professor Z. And without Mater's involvement in this plot, it's possible that the movie's main villain, the lecherous oil tycoon Miles Axelrod, might have gotten away with his nefarious scheme to dominate the world's energy market. But let's not forget that the events of Cars 2 led to the introduction of a new character, Cruz Ramirez. In the third movie, Cars 3, Cruz is a young trainer who works with McQueen as he tries to make a comeback on the racing circuit. Without the events of the previous films, it's unlikely that Cruz would have even been introduced, let alone played such a prominent role in the story. And without Cruz's guidance and support, it's possible that McQueen might not have been able to overcome the challenges he faced and come out on top. So, as you can see, the ripple of McQueen's journey to Radiator Springs extended far and wide, impacting not only his own life, but the lives of countless other characters as well. Without this one seemingly insignificant detour, the world of cars would be a very different place. But, as we said before, this is all just speculation. The fact remains that Lightning McQueen did go to Radiator Springs, and he did learn valuable lessons that helped shape him into the kind and selfless hero that we know and love. So, let's be grateful for the detour that brought McQueen to Radiator Springs and all the adventures that followed. But let's also consider the larger implications of this scenario. In the real world, we often find ourselves at crossroads, faced with choices that have the power to shape our lives and the lives of those around us. And while we can't predict the future, we can choose to take chances and explore new paths, even if they take us off the beaten track. Who knows what kind of people and experiences we might encounter if we're open to the possibilities. Maybe we'll meet someone who becomes a lifelong friend, or discover a passion that we never knew we had. Maybe we'll learn valuable lessons that shape us into better, more compassionate human beings. Or maybe we'll just have a lot of fun and make some great memories. So the next time you're faced with a choice, don't be afraid to take a chance and see where it leads you. You never know what kind of adventures might be waiting for you just around the corner. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be able to look back on your own life and see how a single detour led you to unexpected places and opened up new possibilities that you never could have imagined. So, that's it for today's discussion on what might have been. We hope you enjoyed exploring this alternate reality with us, and that it has sparked some interesting thoughts on the power of friendship, the impact of our choices, and the importance of taking chances. Until next time, happy motoring.